Hi, welcome to Bjorn Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a pick a group reading, and the topic is going to just be like general, what you need to hear right now. So group 1 will be the hematite stone. Group 2 will be the clear quartz. And group 3 will be the smoky quartz that you can see. So if you want to take a moment to pause the video, breathe, and follow your intuition for which group is meant for you. So if you chose pile or group 1, you chose the hematite stone. Put that there. And we will get started with your pre-shuffled oracle cards, and there's a tarot card in here too, and then we'll get some additional messages from regular tarot. So your first card is the Tower. Sorry about the focusing problems. It's like, I think it's an iPhone thing. And then you got the garden snake. Breath. And then disillusion. The alchemy deck. Higher self. And adventures. Okay, group 1. So your first card you got was the Tower, which has to do with like chaos, inevitable, catastrophe, things kind of like taking a fall, maybe without warning. It can kind of give someone a feeling of like a loss of stability or grounding, but it can also, as we let these things fall in our lives, whatever it may be, we are brought to like clarity, revelations, and are brought into a new chapter. And with the garden snake card, this card represents like a situation or thing in your life that seems dangerous or bad, but it's actually helpful, and it's actually like a blessing in disguise, like a garden snake. Like you see a snake and your first instinct is maybe to panic or think you're in danger, without realizing that they kind of help out in your garden and are not a harm to you. And with the breath card, this is kind of just basically like whatever you're going through in your life, no matter the stress, you always have this like built-in stress relief system, just doing breathing work, or I mean breath work. So like whatever feelings that are overwhelming, you can always just breathe them out, and stay present as you do that. Yeah, so, and with the disillusion card, this has to do with like surrendering, releasing, going with the flow of water. Water has to do with emotions, and it's like, it's kind of interesting because like this bird's kind of like diving down, and it's similar to most tower cards where there's something falling or people falling, but surrendering to whatever inevitable changes or seemingly like loss, it's going to bring you emotional clarity and also open new doors. Yeah, the disillusion card has to do with like taking a solid and dissolving it into liquid. So dissolving like our identities that we feel are like us, and allowing for a different narrative or a different identity or a different circumstance to be born in your life. And this can feel like disorienting and anxiety provoking, but doing this does, or hopefully will, help you reunite with a part of yourself that maybe got lost along the way. Because the Tower can also talk about like things ending inevitably, and it can be for different reasons, like outside of our control, but it can also have to do with like when we go down a path we think is the right one for us, but maybe we chose it, you know, subconsciously, even like with more of our ego than our true desires and paths. And so the disillusion card is about like, you know, letting go of whatever this tower card is in your life, that change on the horizon. It's about letting go, flowing with the water, soaring into something new, no matter if it may feel ungrounding in the beginning, because you may feel like, even if it's not the most healthy thing, whatever is going on with the Tower, it may be in your best interest to surrender so that other doors can be open to you, to kind of like also be able to listen to your higher self, or basically just like you know, your identity beyond your ego or material concrete world. So maybe somewhere along the way you may have lost touch with a part of yourself that is essential to getting on the right path that is meant for you. And I think it can help to just like, you know, with the breath and the highest self card, this like is talking about mindfulness activities like breathing, paying attention to your breath, staying in the moment. And your higher self card encourages like, you know, meditation, breathing, and taking part in maybe like creative activities that might help you ease into this new chapter in your life. And with the Adventures card, this card has like a waterfall in the background with like all these beautiful tropical plants and birds. And it kind of just talks about how like life can only stay stagnant for so long before something happens where you're forced to move out of your comfort zone or what you perceived as stability. And and the moving water kind of helps you see the world in new ways, and this can help new doors of opportunity open for you, new experiences, and it kind of just asks you to like remove whatever blinders you may have had, or still have, if this is something that you're going through now, some kind of disruption or change in your life. It kind of is going to like lead you into the right path and direction that you need to, or that might better suit your life, basically. So these are the oracle cards. Let me make sure you can still see. And then we'll pull some tarot cards as well. Okay, so let's ask, what do you need to let go of in order to step into this new... Sorry, I'm not used to this deck. What do you need to let go of in order to step into this new era and let go of whatever had to fall? So yeah, what does group 1 need to let go of to step into this new chapter, new era? This is for group 1. What do they need to let go of? Okay, so this would be the Queen of Wands. Okay. Oops. The Sun. And the 5 of Cups. So maybe whatever position or identity that you've had was something where that made you feel powerful, that made you feel you could get what you wanted, but something about it, yeah, it's like the water is like in this ring of fire, and that's like she's standing there in the middle of it. And so it's like, yeah, like your emotions were kind of like, this is just my interpretation and intuition, but it's almost like your emotions were like in this protective, fiery circle, where you wouldn't let the emotions out, because that maybe made you feel safe, powerful. But something about this presentation of yourself, or way that you adapted in this situation, kind of prevented you from experiencing full joy and happiness, and kind of left you feeling like you always had, you know, your cups, there's 3 cups here that have spilled. And so while you may have these 2 cups that stand behind you, the ones that have fallen, like the emotion is just like spilled out, and maybe you weren't able to emotionally feel fully stable, even if it's something you're used to. So like, yeah, maybe just letting go of this identity of like self-protection of your emotions and them spilling out. And so even though you felt like you're in a great position to have abundance, give abundance, create, and and have like a fertile life, as in just creation in general. Yeah, you just weren't able to fully experience this joy that the sun offers because there's something blocked here emotionally, where even if you felt like this, always something would spill the cups over and there'd be like an emotional overflow where it wasn't being balanced right. So I hope that resonates. And then we'll ask, what kind of energy do you need to embrace to move on in this next chapter of life? What kind of energy do you need to embrace to step forward in the new chapter after this tower moment and after this disillusion, to access your highest self and your true identity? And what do you need to embrace? Take this one, the devil. I hope you can see these. Okay. The 7 of Wands. What does group 1 need to embrace? And the Empress. So with the devil, it can have a few different meanings, but in this context, like it can have meanings of like addiction, unhealthy attachment. So it could be like what you need to embrace is actually letting go of these unhealthy attachments. But the devil card can also represent like lightheartedness, having fun. So maybe you need to find some sort of balance between like just not letting the seriousness of this like tower moment in your life take you down, where you can let go while embracing something new and focusing on that. And with the 7 of Wands and the Empress, it's like you're like walking across this huge like ledge, and the wands are on fire. There's a snake behind you, and you're trying to balance while also not falling or burning your feet. And it's like you're on loose or shaky, unstable ground, right? And you may feel like, I'm trapped, I have no choice but to just go forward. And so I feel like you're almost there. Although this is like, the image is a little bit intimidating. It's like this figure is like almost to the other side. And on that other side, I think, is where you're going to meet yourself with this Empress energy, which the Empress just represents like nurturing energy, caring, abundant, love, motherly energy. So maybe you may need to like lick your wounds in a way where this shedding and releasing and, you know, taking the final leap across to where you know you're meant to be, which was not here. I mean, the Queen of Wands is like a positive card, but in this context and just what I'm picking up on with the fire, like protecting the emotions, and the Empress, you're gonna find a way to balance and use your passionate energy and your heavy emotions in a way that you're going to spread love, and you're going to birth your new self that is actually in alignment with who you really are and your higher self. And we will get some more cards to just remind you of what your power is. So let's get some cards. Sorry. Okay. So for group 1, what is their power? Where and what is their power that will help them get through this rough time? What is their power? The Emperor. Wow, you got the Empress and the Emperor. I'll just put that there. What is their power and what will help them get through this hard transition, or help them surrender to just releasing? What is their power for group 1, please? Take this one. The Fool. Okay. One more. What is group 1's power? Okay. Okay, the Ace of Wands. So group 1, your power is that with the Emperor, you have a very grounded and stable outlook and approach. You're fair. You know how to like stand your ground. You know how to like take the reins. You know how to harness your power. And with the Fool, it's like you can take this very stable, practical, protective Emperor energy with the Fool, and you can start from nothing. So the Fool walks into something with a new adventure with enthusiasm, because they don't have anything good or anything bad to compare their adventure they're starting on with. So the Fool walks in and is maybe naive sometimes, but also they don't have all the baggage of past bad experiences. So yeah, like, yeah, the Emperor, the Fool, the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is all about starting a new passion. It's fire element energy, so that's all about creation, passion, creativity. And I think what your power is that like whatever you try to do, as you have shed this past situation with the Tower, you're gonna know how to like take a leadership role with yourself, and kind of be like optimistic and not have any expectations, good or bad, but just you're gonna walk into it and you're gonna be fueled by your natural passion. And you did have the Queen of Wands. And so with the Ace of Wands, it's like you're starting this fiery passion over with a whole new outlook and perspective. So I think this is a really positive reading. Like, it's always scary getting cards like the Tower or the Devil or the Five of Cups even. But I see all of this as like a huge blessing in disguise, that You're a very powerful person, and, you know, sometimes we think we found where we're supposed to be, and then it ends up not being that, and it can be hard to let go. But I think as you accept, reflect, and let yourself shed what was keeping you back before, that maybe was a part of this tower moment, then you're going to be able to step into this new awareness of like, okay, now I can see why this situation wasn't good for me and wasn't really me honoring who I am. And so you're going to feel empowered by the more you process and release and accept any grieving of things not working out. And I really think that's going to lead to joy, happiness, and just being more in tune with yourself. So I hope this was helpful, group 1. Please like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear any feedback if this was helpful, or yeah, just like how it relates. I'd love to hear that. But yeah, remember to be brave, and thank you so much. Hi, group 2. Welcome to today's reading, where we're going to be talking about just like a general reading for what you need to hear right now. And here's your crystal, the clear quartz. Sorry. Put that there. So we'll get started with your pre-shuffled tarot and oracle cards, and then we'll get some additional information from just a regular tarot deck. So your first card is the Magician. Sure. And then you got Oscar's wife. And it's a old picture of a woman holding like a fishing pole and a caught fish. And then you got Connection. Next card is Autumn. And then Wisdom. Sorry about the focus. And then Gateway. I love this card. Okay. So your group was kind of interesting to me, because what I see like with the Magician is this represents someone who has power and has found the balance in, you know, the spirit realm as well as the material world, and they're using all of their knowledge, power, intellect, and will to create something from nothing, basically. And with the Oscar's wife card, I was looking in the book to see what that card represented, and it's kind of like just saying that you should still love and honor the past, even those who you never met or you never got to meet, and just honoring their experience and their lives for what it was, even if you didn't know them. The next card you got was Connection, and this card is about not staying stuck in the past and also not solely focusing on the future. And it kind of like is signaling that there may be someone coming into your life who, when you meet them, it may feel like, oh my God, I've already met this person before. They might seem very familiar to you. You may have things in common, but it will appear as though this person is coming into your life, like inevitably, and no matter what hiccups or bumps in the road have occurred, or how like tangled up the string gets, like you're still connected in some way. And with the Autumn card, this is about like generosity and harvest, and it's kind of like a foreshadow of what's to come in winter. And with the Wisdom card here, with the Autumn card being about generosity, wisdom as well, I feel that that it's asking you to share your story or your wisdoms with others. And I feel like that's how you're going to meet this person. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, or like a close friend, or just like an important person that might come into your life that is going to be life-changing and enriching. And I just see like with these two, it's all about like sharing and wisdom. So whatever you may have experienced, I think that going out on a limb and showing some vulnerability, like, use your discernment with who to trust sharing certain personal things. But yeah, I just see there's some kind of like special outcome when you are able to offer your wisdom to others. And when you do this, there will be this like gateway where all these new things will happen in your life, new opportunities, and a beautiful new chapter where things happen that you would have never expected happen. And yeah, just like a portal opening for you. Another thing is with the Oscar's wife card, I also had another interpretation that it could be like whatever connection that comes into your life, this person may be reminiscent of someone of the past that maybe in your family or close friends, maybe someone who you didn't know but heard stories about, and maybe this new person coming to your life, they will remind you of them, and it will help you honor this person of the past, their life, and it may be healing to you in some way. I know that's kind of vague and specific at the same time, but I hope it makes sense to whoever this reading comes across. And so let's get some tarot cards, and we're going to ask, what do you need to let go, what to embrace, and what your powers are. So in this moment, what does group 2 need to let go to bring these new connections in their life and have the confidence and be put in the right place with the right people to share their wisdom? First card is 5 of Cups, and group 1 just got that card as well. And this is about what to let go. That's interesting. So for group 2, what do they need to let go for group 2? Chariot. For group 2, what do they need to let go? And the 5 of Wands. Let me make sure you can see all of these. Okay, so with what you need to let go, the 5 of Cups kind of represents like something happening in life that did not go as planned and has caused a lot of emotional upheaval. You can see the figure is like grieving, crying. There's 3 spilled and cracked cups here, and this river flowing in the background, which water represents like emotions. So maybe what to let go of is to process whatever is keeping you in this place of grieving and rumination of the past, because it's keeping you from being able to decide which direction to take. Because the chariot sits and it has 2 directions that it can take. And so in order for you to be able to make a plan to move forward and choose the right path, it's important to release and let go of whatever is still hurting your heart here. And with the 5 of Wands, that card represents like rivalry, arguments, kind of like a conflict card. It's not like, it's kind of like bickering, arguing, competition. But I feel like with these 3 cards, it's something where there was a lot of conflict and it kind of left you in this place of just like being stuck emotionally, and you don't know where to go from here. And this could be, I feel like it's an interpersonal thing where something from the past happened that may be where you gain this wisdom. And also the magician's power of understanding themselves on different levels spiritually, and on the material plane as well. But yeah, I feel like what you need to let go of to let these new connections and let yourself use your power to share your wisdom, it's gonna take some grieving still, and that's okay. Like, there's no time limit on how long you should grieve, but also be aware if you're stuck in it and not moving through it also, if that makes sense. And then we're going to ask, what should group 2 embrace in this reading? or in their lives? What kind of energy do they need to embrace to move past and let go? For group 2, please. What do they need to embrace? For group 2. Okay, we got the Queen of Swords. What does group 2 need to embrace to let go? The Fool. Check out group 1 also if you felt called to it, because there's a few repeating cards. And Adjustment, which is Justice. So I feel like what you need to embrace in order to let this go is kind of just like taking on, like with the Devotee of Swords or the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords speaks honestly, clearly, and can even at times be almost too sharp-tongued or too blunt. But when in balance, the Queen of Swords is a very fair and caring, loving queen, but she also sticks up for herself. She also is intellectual and very good with direct and clear communication, boundaries. And with the Fool, it's like, yeah, just stepping into this new energy of communication, finding the balance. So maybe like in the past when you tried to communicate, there was a lot of with the Five of Wands, there was a lot of conflict and arguing. And so maybe you're like, I'm afraid to be direct, but with the Adjustment card, or Justice, it's about finding the balance, and being fair. And also the Queen of Wands is she's a very fair queen, meaning that she also cares about justice. And so I feel like what you need to embrace is just like, even if in the past you dealt with situations or people that were not open to communication, or were not open to compromise or anything, without just having all this upheaval and drama and anxiety and stuff. But I'm seeing here, it's like you have this power, you have this wisdom, you have connections that will be coming in, that's going to open up this new gateway for you, and you can feel safe and trust yourself with the wisdom that you've learned from all the situations. And you can find a good balance to communicate where you're not too, like, be direct, but you can still be tactful. You can be direct and someone can get upset, even no matter how nice you word things, but you can still set up boundaries, and you can go forward and not connect it with this past. Like, this is a new start with the Fool, and a new adventure, a new chapter that awaits you. And so we'll get a few more cards that just ask what your powers are, just to give you a little empowerment. Okay, so we got the Hanged Man. I'll just put that there. The Ten of Pentacles. Okay, they just came right out. And the Four of Pentacles. So your power is that you you do have patience. With the Hanged Man, this figure is hanging in the air and is kind of like being forced to, not forced, but is now in a position where they have to reflect and have to stand still for now as they reflect and digest and understand themselves. And I feel like this patience is going to bring you your future security, your legacy, your family security. And with the Four of Pentacles, this can talk about someone holding on to security. So I feel like, let me just get a clarifier on that one. So for group 3, why are we seeing the Four of Pentacles for their power? That was a lot. Let me just, that was too many. Hold on. Okay. For group 3, why are we seeing the Four of Pentacles for their power? Okay. And again, this card, I shuffled them well, but this card came out in the last read too, different position. So yeah, this talks about like someone who's feeling like unstable, like not stable grounding underneath them, some anxiety, but I think what your power is even though things feel shaky, unstable, and as if you kind of have to be on the defense to protect yourself in a way or protect your energy, you also are utilizing your ability to be patient, and you are holding on to the stability and resources you do have right now. And so that can be helpful when you're in a situation where you are, you know, stuck, not stuck, but just like in a transition and in a place of reflection. So I do see that you have a bright and stable future ahead. I see there are like important connections that are just like in the forecast, and that this group has a lot of wisdom that is needed in the world and will also connect you with those who will play a part in your story in your life. So that's what I see today. I hope this was helpful, group 2, and if it was, I'd really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, leave me a comment, let me know if it did resonate or anything you want to share. I would love that. And always remember to be brave. Hey group 3, welcome to today's reading, where we're going to just be doing like a general reading for what you need to hear right now. First, we'll get started with some pre-shuffled oracle cards, and then we'll do some additional regular tarot cards to add to that. So your first card you got was Discs Bravery, which would be the Ace of Pentacles. And then you got the Lovebirds. Modern. I think it's interesting how like all these images kind of go together. Smoke. You can see that. The Present. and embracing. So with the discs, bravery, or the Ace of Pentacles in regular tarot, this card's about like new offers, new ventures, beginnings, material or financial gain, or a new start or a new chapter with your dreams or goals, or maybe like a launch of a project. With the lovebirds, it talks about how love is all around us. It can also talk about just like fantasizing about being in love, or if that doesn't resonate, it could just be talking about like being in love with your passions, since your first card was the Ace of Pentacles. And with the Modern card, it talks about like integrating the things that we've learned from the past, while also accepting like the technological modern world we live in, and kind of like integrating those two things to find a good balance of the wisdom that we have learned as humans throughout history, and also adapting and working in our new ways of living with technology and just modern life, or whatever that might mean to you, and kind of just bringing those together and allowing the future to like be born, which makes sense with like the bravery discs card, and the lovebirds. With the smoke, this can talk about kind of like not like smoke can come from different things, sometimes dangerous, sometimes not. So maybe if there's a group of people standing there and someone smells smoke and starts to panic, and everybody assumes it's a fire and is up in a panic frenzy, but really the smoke that they were smelling could have just been incense, which symbolically can mean cleansing energy or clearing the air, or it has like a positive meaning, and it's no reason to panic. So it's kind of saying like to not just follow the crowd, like to decipher for yourself if like this new project or new experience is foreshadowing something negative or positive. So it's like, use your own judgment, and before panicking, or before just walking into smoke where you can't see what's on the other side. So maybe like with the lovebirds thing, if this new opportunity or new experience has to do something in the realm of like romance or love, it could just mean like, don't just like walk into it like assuming the best, but also don't walk into it assuming the worst. And you can listen to like, take others' input and advice as you find it useful, but also be sure to honor what you know to be right and your judgment above all else. At the end of the day, just don't let others make decisions for you, basically. And with the present, it's just basically saying to stay in the present. So don't don't get too stuck on the past or the future as you have this new opportunity and you're integrating these different aspects to find balance. You're integrating the old with the new. You're deciphering between what is healthy or unhealthy. And you're also balancing your own past and future to stay present so that you can be present enough to judge these situations for your best interests or your higher good, or however you want to phrase that. And with the embracing card, it's kind of just like reminding you to embrace whatever situations arise. Embrace them by finding the good in the bad and the bad in the good, because I just see a theme in this reading specifically where it's like a lot of finding the gray area and like a balancing act, and to try to see if this new opportunity or idea or venture is going to be a good thing in your life or not. And with the embracing, it's also talking about like balancing your emotions, so not getting too caught up in negative emotions or like numbing, but allowing yourself to feel. Or if you're feeling too much, allowing yourself to be okay with like not ruminating or looping or being stuck on the situation, or being stuck on what will the outcome be. And then I also thought it's interesting how all these cards like kind of have this similar theme. Like here we see, I hope it's focused, sorry, iPhone focus problems. But we see like there's lava like spewing out from this volcano here as something is starting. And with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like, yes, there's opportunity and promise here, but it takes like also your willpower to make it happen. And in this card, there's also kind of like some kind of sparks or some kind of, it almost looks like as if there's like a fire in the horizon, but you can't see it. But yeah, just balancing the world that we live in, deciphering for yourself what is behind the smoke, or what the smoke actually is rooting from. Balancing your future and past, balancing your emotions or lack of emotions. So yeah, there's just a lot of balancing in so far. And then we're just gonna get a few cards to ask like what you need to embrace. Let me see what it was. Yeah, what you need to let go of, what you need to embrace, and what your power is right now to like give you some empowerment messages. So for group 3, what do they need to let go of to be able to have the mental capacity and clarity to like think all of this through and balance? What does group 3 need to let go of, please? What does group 3 need to let go of? Okay, I believe this is Temperance art. For group 3, what do they need to let go of? Okay. And then we got the 8 of Cups. Just scoot these over so you can see them all. And the 6 of Cups. Art, Temperance, it's another balancing card where Temperance represents like inner balance. So balancing your emotions within, balancing the cracked parts with the emotionally fulfilled parts. And with the 8 of Cups, this is just about somebody who is making a choice to move on emotionally. They do have like a long journey ahead, a mountain to climb, but essentially they're moving on to something that is better because this no longer serves them. The 6 of Cups can also mean like memories, emotional memories, or nostalgia. So maybe like what you need to let go of is just again, finding that inner balance and clarity, moving on to something you know is going to serve you better, and then knowing that it's going to bring you this pleasure, relief, and sense of security and emotional comfort. And then we will get some more cards for what you need to embrace. Okay, so for group 3, what do they need to embrace? What does group 3 need to embrace? Okay, the 9 of Pentacles. That was too many. Let's try that again. What does group 3 need to embrace? Okay, the 9 of Swords. And the King of Cups. So I feel like what you need to embrace is whatever haunts you from the past, or maybe continues to give you nightmares, or just something that keeps you from maybe achieving the balance, is having that time with yourself of having time of enjoyment, seeing all the success and hard work that you've put in, and just having some you time to reap the benefits. And yeah, it's just like you don't, I think it's saying like, especially the King of Cups too, which is like emotional, giving, security, love, secure love. It's like you don't have to like stay in this, you don't have to be tortured by the past, or whatever imbalances might haunt you in your life. And if you do, that's okay, but you still need to balance it with allowing yourself to let go and like enjoy life sometimes. And that will be emotionally fulfilling for you to do. Like, maybe there's some kind of like internalized guilt for whatever reason, or maybe you feel like, oh, well, I haven't got all this that's giving me anxiety with the Nine of Swords figured out, so I don't deserve to bask in the sun, or I don't deserve to like enjoy the things I've worked for, whether that be material or just inner work. It's really saying like what to embrace is just enjoyment, and that even if you feel like everything's not perfect or you're still haunted by anxieties, you're gonna need to balance it out somehow to have this emotional fulfillment and security. And then we'll get a few more cards to just ask like what your powers are, so you can feel empowered. For group 3, what are their powers for group 3 to help them find balance and work through all these different aspects? Okay, so we got the Queen of Swords, also got that in the last reading. I feel like if you're called to any of the other groups, feel free to check them out because there are some similarities. But for what your power is, it's like you have a lot of options with the Nine of Cups. Some of them may lead to misfortune, others will lead to success and happiness. And with the Queen of Swords, I feel like you're going to be able to decipher which cups to choose, which paths to choose by thinking with your mind and not your heart, weighing things out, deciphering what is best for you, and being very clear in your communication with others. And another powerful thing, this is about balance too, it's so crazy, but it's like this, give and take, the Nine of Pentacles. So generosity, giving to others in need, offering your communication skills to others and receiving it back. So I feel like you're a great communicator, or just a very fair person who cares about, who is compassionate and thinks about others as they make their decisions. So that alone, helps with any new venture, starting any new opportunity in life. That is a huge, positive thing, to be able to be a fair person who's generous and thoughtful when making decisions, because those decisions could also affect others. So overall, I feel this is a positive reading. I see that with some introspection and some weighing out the pros and cons and working through some of the past things and feeling empowered to move on from them, that you're going to have great success in whatever this new venture is, whether it be a new project, a new love interest, or partnership, platonic, whatever. It just seems like you have a good head on your shoulders, and you definitely possess the qualities to find this balance, as long as you allow yourself to still enjoy, even if you have things that are stressing you out. I hope this was helpful. Please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear any feedback. And always remember to be brave.